I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Friday, December the 20th, 2013. The Jerusalem Post reports that two Palestinians who tried to damage the security fence between Israel and Gaza were shot and wounded today. According to the IDF spokesperson, IDF soldiers noticed the two Palestinians approaching the fence and fired warning shots in the air. The two, however, ignored the warnings and military orders to stay away from the fence. They got closer, trying to damage it. The soldiers then opened fire, injuring them. The incident occurred near the northern Gaza village of Jabalia. The Palestinian Authority is accusing Israel of trying to sabotage peace talks after two Palestinians were killed in two separate IDF raids that took place Thursday morning and Wednesday night. PA news agency Wafa reported that PA President Mahmoud Abbas spokesman Nabil Abu Radane said that dangerous Israeli escalation aims to foil the U.S. and international efforts exerted to advance the peace process and aims to lead the negotiations to a dead end. The two incidents he referred to were, as we reported to you yesterday, when an elite IDF unit was conducting a raid in the West Bank city of Qalqilia Thursday morning when they came under fire. The unit returned fire and one Palestinian was killed. He is said to have been a member of the Palestinian Security Force, known for his role in a Fatah Tanzim terror cell. And in a separate incident the night before in Jenin, an IDF force conducting a raid came under attack by a group of Palestinians who threw handmade hand grenades and Molotov cocktails at them. The IDF opened fire and one Palestinian was killed and several injured. Israeli security sources said that both Qalqilia and Jenin have become the scene of regular attacks on IDF forces who enter the cities to conduct security searches. The source said the IDF's job was to be on the front lines so that violence doesn't spill over onto roads or other areas used by civilians. Several Jewish groups here in the U.S. have welcomed the bipartisan Iran sanctions bill introduced in the Senate, the Nuclear Weapon-Free Iran Act, which was announced yesterday afternoon and was spearheaded by Senators New Jersey Democrat Robert Menendez, Illinois Republican Mark Kirk, New York Democrat Charles Schumer, and South Carolina Republican Lindsey Graham. The new legislation would increase sanctions against Iran if ongoing talks prove unsuccessful. The Anti-Defamation League Chair Barry Curtis Lusher and National Director Abe Foxman said the legislation makes clear to Iran the severe economic price it will pay if it does not negotiate seriously and plays for time. Jewish Council for Public Affairs President Rabbi Steve Gutto said that while the best pathway to resolving the Iran crisis is a diplomatic one, and applauded President Obama and Secretary Kerry for their efforts in achieving an interim agreement with Iran, but added that so long as Iran maintains the ability to reach breakout nuclear capability, we, our allies in the region, and the entire international community will continue to be threatened. Jewish Federations of North America Board of Trustees Chair Michael Siegel said the threat of additional sanctions with the appropriate presidential waivers in this legislation ensures that Iran knows this and all other options are on the table should negotiations fail. B'nai B'rith International said, "We believe the United States needs to continue a forthright approach in dealing with Iran and its nuclear program, and this legislation can greatly strengthen the hand of the P5+1 in the difficult negotiations ahead." An American Jewish Committee Executive Director David Harris said that Iran's claim that Congress will cause the collapse of the interim deal is a diversionary tactic. Harris said if Iran is serious about a deal, then Iran has nothing whatsoever to fear from the bipartisan Senate initiative. The Nuclear Weapon-Free Iran Act proposes that new sanctions would come into effect should Iran violate the interim joint plan of action agreed to in Geneva last month, or should the talks fail to reach a final agreement. It also includes a non-binding provision that the U.S. will support Israel if Israel takes, quote, military action in legitimate self-defense. And the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee passed a bipartisan bill yesterday that aims to promote cooperation between the U.S. and Israel on energy issues. The bill was led by Louisiana Democrat Senator Mary Landrieu, Democratic Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, and Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. The bill, called the United States-Israel Energy Cooperation Enhancement Bill, hopes to boost partnerships on developing resources like natural gas and alternative fuels on academic, business, and governmental levels. Landrieu said the vote was a huge step forward. She said with the Gulf Coast's unparalleled expertise in offshore oil and gas development, we are in a prime position to help our critical ally develop this resource. The Louisiana senator has been working for several years to strengthen U.S.-Israel collaborations on energy research and development. She organized the first American oil and gas trade mission to Israel in 2011, and the following year helped bring an Israeli delegation to Louisiana as well as to Washington, D.C. The bill now goes to the Senate floor for approval. If it passes, Landrieu says, this will boost economic opportunities here at home while supporting Israel in its efforts to secure energy independence and security. A county in Sweden is considering introducing a ban on religious circumcision. A Swedish online newspaper reported yesterday that the commissioner of Blekinge County, Per-Ola Mattsson, said he would raise the issue in February with the county's health board, which he chairs. Mattsson said he was opposed to the practice because minors had no voice in whether they wanted the procedure done or not. As per legislation from 2001, non-medical and medical circumcision can only be performed in Sweden by licensed professionals. Jewish ritual circumcisers, or mohels, in Sweden receive their licenses from the county's health board, but a nurse or doctor must still be present during the procedure. Meanwhile, parliamentarians from the Council of Europe submitted a motion opposing an earlier resolution condemning ritual circumcision. Israeli diplomats reportedly encouraged the motion, which calls the Jewish and Muslim circumcision of boys a religious rite which does not present risks for children and should be respected as a long-standing religious tradition. The motion is called Freedom of Religion and Religious Practices. It was submitted on December the 11th in response to a non-binding anti-circumcision resolution passed in October by the Council, which called the non-medical circumcision of boys a violation of the physical integrity of children. The Times of Israel reports that the Israel Museum has acquired what it is calling the world's oldest Jewish coin. The museum, located in Jerusalem, received over 1,200 ancient silver Persian coins, among the earliest known currency from the area, from an American donor. The collection includes a Jewish coin that the museum has identified as the world's oldest. In an interview with the Times of Israel, the museum's chief curator of archaeology, Chaim Gittler, said of a 5th century drachm that it was the earliest coin from the province of Judea and the first Jewish coin. The collection dates back to the 5th and 4th centuries BCE, when the region was controlled by the Persian Empire, and constitutes the largest collection in the world of Persian period coins. It includes several previously unknown varieties, including the silver drachm, which is an ancient coin based upon the Greek drachma. On the coin in Aramaic script is written the word Yehud, or Judea. The Yehud coin was reportedly found in the hills of southwest Hebron and was bought at auction by New York antiquities collector Jonathan Rosen, who agreed to donate his entire collection of Persian-era coins to the Israel Museum this past March. International art magazine Apollo ranked the coin collection among the top museum acquisitions of 2013. A selection of the coins from the collection is now on display in the Israel Museum's archaeology wing. And turning to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Friday, December the 20th, live Shabbat services begin at 6 p.m. from New York City's Central Synagogue. At 7:30, Avital Sharansky is honored by the American Jewish Historical Society with the Emma Lazarus Statue of Liberty Award in recognition of her fight to free her husband and other members of Soviet Jewry at a special ceremony held back in May. And then at 10 p.m., a performance of klezmer and jazz clarinetist David Krakauer from the Museum of Jewish Heritage in New York City. That's tonight here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Friday, December the 20th, 2013. I'm Teisha Bader. Shabbat Shalom.